This story comes to us from Axios.com. Going back to Aurora, Colorado. You know, in cyber terms, I should rent an apartment, a cyber apartment there in Aurora, because I spend so much time there. I do so many editorials. I don't remember if I did the original story on this or not, but the name sounds familiar. But the Aurora Police Department have released the body cam footage of a fatal shooting of a 14-year-old. The 14-year-old boy, fatally shot by Aurora police on June 1st, was carrying a pellet gun when authorities attempted to stop him, the police said. Body-worn camera footage released by the department on Friday shows the police chasing Jordell Richardson after his suspected involvement in an armed robbery. The footage shows two officers chasing Jordell Richardson in an alley, ordering him to stop before one officer, Roch Gruszewska, boy, say that name, tackles him. While on top of Richardson, Gruszewska told him, "Let go of a gun," before firing a single shot, which entered Richardson's abdomen.
Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Get on the ground, I'm gonna tase you! Oh, gun! Gun! Look on the gun! I'm gonna shoot you! Dude, I'm gonna shoot you! Shoot!
You just watched as two officers chased Jordell down an alley, tackled him. Appeared there was some back and forth while he was on the ground. Shortly before the gunshot, you hear Jordell say on that camera, "Stop, please, you got me." Within seconds, one of the officers fired a single shot, hit Richardson in the abdomen. They then grabbed what turned out to be the pellet gun that he had.
During Friday's press conference, interim police chief Art Acevedo, well, there's our favorite. You knew that, I don't know, I was going to say you knew that Art Acevedo was in there somewhere, right? From Houston to, did he go to Miami? Was that where he went? But now he's in Aurora. He's the interim police chief. I bet you guys want Vanessa back now. But during Friday's press conference, interim Aurora police chief Art Acevedo showed the pellet gun found with Richardson next to an actual firearm, displaying its similarities. Well, yeah, a pellet gun could look like an actual gun. Siddhartha Rathod, an attorney for Richardson's family, told reporters Acevedo contacted him 30 minutes before the police started its press conference to inform him the gun recovered was a pellet gun. Rathod, who led a press conference for the family outside the Aurora Municipal Center, called on Acevedo to apologize to Richardson's family and resign. He says, "We're sick and tired of it. They can't keep killing our children and then lying about it," Rathod said. The family reviewed the footage with Acevedo. Rathod said the department knew the gun wasn't real, but did not disclose it during the earlier meeting. Now, what point did they know it wasn't real is what he's talking about. Is he talking about after the incident? Because pellet guns, you could point a pellet gun at me and I could think that's an actual 45. I mean, who knows, right? But an officer on routine patrol on June 1st requested backup after seeing teenagers approaching a convenience store near East 8th Avenue and North Dayton Street, according to the initial police press report. Police say the teenagers, who were wearing medical masks and hoodies, ran from the store after taking vape canisters. Vape canisters. Now, stealing. If they did do this, stealing is stealing, robbery is robbery. Shoplifting. It's all a crime. But killed over vape canisters. Vape canisters. You hear what I'm saying? The Aurora Police Department entered into a consent decree agreement in 2021 after the Colorado Attorney General's office found it violated state and federal laws through racially biased policing and excessive force. In Aurora? Get out of here. Really? The department has struggled to meet deadlines for the agreement, which requires the agency to make changes, including for its use of force policy. Of course they're not going to meet deadlines. They don't care. Look, DOJ, do you think they really care, Attorney General, about your freaking, consent decree? I bumped my mic. But they don't care about that. They're like, oh, gee, we got to make changes. The consent decree was prompted by the renewed attention into the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. It gained more notoriety after demonstrations against police violence following George Floyd's murder in 2020. 3 Aurora police officers and 2 paramedics were charged in 2021 in connection to Elijah McClain's death. For those who may not know who Elijah McClain is, if you follow this channel, you really know who he is. But for those who don't know, Elijah McClain was a young autistic black man. What was he, like 19 or 20? I forget his age, but he's very young. And he was at a store one night and he started walking home. He had his headset in. He was, wop, pop, 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 hey, what's up, yo, whatever. He's listening to music and he was just, enjoying his music. Somebody called and said, there's a black man walking down the street and oh my God, something going on. Well, the cops show up and they go, hey, come here. What are you doing? Come here. Why? Because he's walking down the street at night and he's black. He's autistic now. Remember, he's kind of like, he has issues. And when they start grabbing on him, you hear in the video, there's video of it. You can look it up on YouTube. He actually says, hey, I got problems. I got issues, or I forget what but he's telling them, look, don't do this to me. Okay, please. He's telling them, I've got problems. Hold on. They don't care. They're not going to de-escalate over that. He goes to the ground and eventually he ends up dead. Why? Because he was walking home at night and he didn't want to listen to what the cops had to say. Not because he was breaking the law, because he wasn't. So Aurora, Colorado goes into this consent decree with the Attorney General, which they're not meeting the deadlines, or they're struggling to meet deadlines. Let's put it that way. I don't know, maybe they are meeting deadlines, but they're struggling to meet deadlines. Why? Because they don't care. And now comes this Jordell Richardson case. Aurora is never going to, for those of you thinking Aurora is going to change someday, they're going to become a good cop. No, they're not. No, they're not. Aurora, Phoenix, Tucson, Houston, San Antonio, Mesa, Arizona, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, all these police departments, Baltimore, all these cities have police departments that are troubling police departments. And that's not all inclusive. I just gave you the ones that I know offhand that I always talk about. They're never going to change. Do you hear me? I mean, look at our own Yucaipa Police Department. I started talking good about them. I thought, you know what, they're really doing good. They're bringing in some good people. And then Sergeant Wilson and Deputy Arden effed that up because they decided to violate my rights one night. Why? Because I was recording them talking to some guy and they didn't like it. That's my opinion. Obviously they didn't like it. Sarge put a light in my face. That was sustained. Yes, he did provoke you by putting a light in your face. That was sustained in a complaint. Why? That's what I'm trying to say is here I'm talking good about a police department. In fact, that very sergeant, they had a DUI stop a couple weeks prior And I recorded, I go, look, there's a wine bottle. Yeah, she's drinking and driving. And I talked him up a little. And he still stuck a baton up my ass, metaphorically speaking. Or I should be a flashlight, right? He stuck up there, metaphorically speaking. Law enforcement is never going to change, guys. You're always going to have that one cop or those two cops in every department that's going to say, I can mess with this guy. Why? Because I'm a cop. I'm on my soapbox. I am. Because Aurora, Colorado, we're getting kind of tired of talking about you. It's time for the governor to do something.